This is Van Black the Ghost, and this episode contains some explicit language, so if you don't want to listen, skip it right now. So, this episode, Peg talks about Sensual, Expansive Sound, Total Erupt, Fuck. So, this song is an experiment that we did using our Morphogene Eurorack module. So, we took a song that was in the Peg catalog and we ran it into the Morphogene. And the Morphogene is a very interesting tool. It's a Eurorack sampler, but it's not like some of the digital samplers you see from Akai where you can visually see what you're doing with the actual sample on a grid or on a screen. You actually only have color cued visual outputs that kind of tell you if something's green, if it's normal speed in different colors, purple if it's like starting to get slower speed. So it uses color coding to kind of tell you what's going on, and it's knob per function. So it's kind of like using a Moog, mini Moog, to do a sample where you've got all these dials and the color is your feedback. So we took a song that we had written maybe like 4 years ago, which is part of our Expansive Sound, is we used to do these instrumental songs that are just straight, expansive sound, which is the idea of expansive sound, is we take hardware synths and we just record what Hendrix used to call sound paintings, this layered atmospheric sound using hardware synths. And at that time, we were using the Roland Juno TI. We had a song called Softer 10, which is on our SoundCloud. So we actually recorded that into the Morphogene, and then we have been trying to get the Morphogene to loop better than it does. Not that it doesn't loop good, but sometimes what happens with the Morphogene, if you don't wire it up right or create the settings right, when it goes to loop, it starts to degrade the sample and change the speed of the sample, and sometimes you don't want it to do that. Now, we still had a little glitchy sound where it does this collision thing where it kind of goes off and does a cacophony. But then we got it to loop on a steady loop by doing this end of file kind of controlled voltage wiring that allows it to keep on looping without fully degrading. And if you don't control it, it will continually on the loop start to totally deconstruct. And if you're trying to build a structured song, that kind of becomes a problem. And we finally figured out a wiring technique that has a little cacophony, but then continues to go back to the beginning of the sample, which is kind of a trial and error thing. And you got to look up all kinds of stuff. Loop Pop had some tutorials on it. I think even Cuckoo might have had tutorials on it. There's a lot of tutorials on the web. So we took that loop, we built it out with the Softer 10 track, which is maybe a 4-year-old expansive sound track. Then on top of that, we did some experimentation with our Moog Mother 32 and our DFAM and a Make Noise module. We had all this strange modulation that what we call is when we run the Eurorack and we have the bips and bloops. We had a lot of weirdness going on, and it was kind of loud, so we used our Pittsburgh 2x4 mixer to bring down the level, so it's not so oppressive to actually conflict with the sample. And then we had our Josephine electric vocal, which is what is maybe explicit about this, is the whole song is kind of talking up a very sexual situation. So it's basically the concept of, total Erupt fuck is like when you come to like a little death or orgasm. And she's kind of referring to a situation where, she had a partner where they're really deep in this kind of sexual situation, and and she's just like an ode to that moment. And she then there's some sadness about it because it's like she can't get back to that moment. And that's what the whole song is about, the kind of loss of that sensuality and the kind of remembrance of it. And we like to use romantic poetry, and sometimes we get a little more abrupt in our visual nature of the lyrics. So those who are sensitive maybe don't want to hear that, and so you can skip, like we said on this episode. But we've also been playing with the sampler and the OPZ. In this particular song, we did do some OPZ goodness in the mix, but we didn't use the sampler. The previous track, we did that on the Motherfunk That Scene, which we probably got to send to Bentley. Really, really like it. But we like this song, but, it's kind of so experimental, and whether or not people will digest it, we're not sure. But it's the continuing story of what the Ghost does, and we previously thought we were going to do this concert in New Jersey, was actually Lexington, Kentucky. And as an African American, Kentucky's kind of like a no-go zone for us. So we're probably not going to do that. And we're looking forward to trying to do some more Facebook Live performances once we stabilize. When we get closer to the Violet final track list for Dark Ghost Violets, we will probably do a bunch of performances because we've got to rehearse these songs and find our way of performing them since we're a one-person band. So that's the next step, is to actually come up with the sequence for the Dark Ghost Violet album, send it to Bentley, and then start to rehearse the songs so that we can actually perform them on our Facebook Live, and then see if we can get places to perform them into 2020 and see what we can do. We're kind of really happy that somebody approached us about doing it, but with all of our gear and not getting paid for the gig, we got too much gear to bring that far. We're kind of a Northeastern band where, as a one-man band, we do have a lot of gear. We're not just running off a DAW. We like to play live, so we kind of need a U-Haul. And if you're not getting paid, you pay a couple $1,000s to rent a U-Haul to drive that far is not kind of worth it. So we're hoping to find a better situation, but we'll do our Facebook Live concerts instead. If you want to support the Ghost and help us with our touring budget for 2020, sign up. And then if you sign up and support us, you can get us better situated for a road tour. If you do like the Ghost, you like our live shows, if you like what we do on the YouTube and Instagram channel, again, our Instagram channel is expansive_sound_experiments. That's expansive_sound experiments. There's an underscore in there 2 times. I might have skipped it on the last time, but check it out and we'll talk to you later.
Saw you disengaged with that woman. I'm replaced. I'm not the picture in your frame. I'm not fade. I like the TV face. Saw you disengaged. Cacophony is replaced. Oh, so happy waves. And now the crashing waves. And my picture, my frame, I'm replaced. Company just saves. And now I'm crashing open waves. I'm on a fade. So you disengaged with that woman. I'm replaced. You got me on the bed. And our heads turning red. It could company like an ocean wave. On the beach, how you coffin is a wave that's crashing on our former grave. So you are disengaged with that woman. I'm late. The coffin is like an ocean wave. It's just spin and the tide won't go away. Underwater for 7 days, and our fate is replaced with the fate, with the fate. So you have disengaged with that woman I'm replaced. Ocean waves. So you disengage with that woman I'm replaced. My picture's not in your frame, and I'm gone.